Hi, third and fourth graders. Today we are going to have a legend from the culture of the Roman culture, which was based in Italy. You can see Italy here on our map. You can tell that it's Italy because it looks just like a boot. Can you see that this is the high heel of the boot, the toe of the boot? And it's actually, here's Greece, where we've been talking about some of their myths and legends. And here's France and here's Spain. Kind of gives you an idea of where Italy is in the world. So we're going to be talking about legends of Italy. And it's interesting because the Roman Empire actually took over Greece, the Greek Empire, but actually adopted some of the Greek mythology and changed the names of some of the Greek gods into Roman gods. The Greek god Apollo was actually Apollo in the Roman mythology. Venus was the Roman goddess of beauty, the same as Aphrodite in Greece. And so we have some things that are very similar. But one of the cool legends is how Italy got to have its capital, which is Rome. Rome is a beautiful city. It's the capital of Italy, and it has some beautiful architecture in there. Back when the Romans were in charge, they actually conquered most of the known world, most of Europe, including France, including Spain, including England. They were incredibly huge empire, and some of the architecture still exists today. So for instance, if you go to Italy, you can see some things like the Pantheon. It looks kind of like, let's see, I think this one's the Pantheon right here. You have the Colosseum, which is where they used to fight tigers and lions and have chariot races. And just in recent years, they discovered that they would flood the Colosseum with gallons and huge gallons of water and actually have boat fights, huge ship fights in the Colosseum. It'd be like watching football today, but you can still see some of this ancient Roman architecture. And Roman architecture and Greek architecture, we still use that architecture today. So it's important to kind of know some of their myths and legends because it actually affects us today. So we're going to learn the story of Romulus and Remus. Now, I happen to really, really like this story because in Star Trek, Romulans come from the word Romulus, and they're the bad guys in Star Trek. But here, they're not. This story is going to be about two brothers and what happens to the two brothers. Now, this is a pretty simplified version, but basically, it's very similar to the story of Cain and Abel. If you're a Christian, you might know the story of Cain and Abel, where Cain kills Abel for his flocks. Well, something happened very similar to Romulus and Remus. So we're going to take a look at this story in poem form to find out what happens to Romulus and Remus, two brothers. All right, Romulus and Remus were twins. Their father was the god called Mars, who had a planet named after him and lots of chocolate bars too. They had a wicked uncle who threw them in the river to die, but they were rescued by a wolf who happened to pass by. The wolf pulled them from the river and took them back home to her den. She dried them off and fed the milk until they were healthy again. Here's our picture of Romulus and Remus and the wolf. Before long, a shepherd found them and took them back home to his wife. The couple raised them as their own. They had a happy life. The twins grew into big, strong men, both leaders and with lots of allies. They planned to build a city where the friendly wolf first heard their cries. But the twins could not quite agree on the exact location. They had a nasty falling out, a violent altercation. Altercation means fight. And Romulus killed his brother and very soon became the king of the great city that he named after his own name. Yes, Romulus founded Rome. It's where the name comes from, although I've often wondered why it's Rome instead of Rom, which is kind of funny. All right, some of the other things about this that you should know is that there are other versions of this story. So often in Greek and Roman mythology, you have certain versions of this story. One of the versions is that the twins' mother is a princess, daughter of King Numitor, and Numitor's brother Emilius basically kills all of his brother and his brother's children and throws the babies into the river, and they are found by the wolf and come back to claim the throne of Rome. And so forth. So it's interesting to read about these stories, about how the Romans decided, how they came into existence, and how the stories that they told their children about how their society came into existence. We have our own myths and legends that we are creating and talking about, and we're going to be seeing some even closer to home. We'll look at some Native Americans ones, but this is a Roman one, and I'll see if I can find some more of these. Hope you're enjoying our myths and legends. Keep doing your reading bingo. I love seeing your pictures. They are so cute. Please enjoy doing it. Remember, you can only mark 1 square a day. You can do more a day if you want to, but you can only mark 1 square. Okay? All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day. Maybe I can say have a good day if it will ever stop here.